Anyway, hello and welcome to episode 7 of TTT. We're going to be starting off on 26 and hopefully catching right up to current, which is, as it stands, episode 30.
1.
No, 30.
30.
1.
No.
40.
We can start at episode 1 again.
This is what you get for adding a time travel story into the thing, Danny.
For those listening,
Yes.
there isn't time travel. It's actually episode 30, and my
Yes,
players
it's
are
30.
going to fight a Tarrasque next session.
Yay.
Nice.
And-
I'm looking forward to level 20 characters.
Yeah, in fucking hell when they're dead.
You tried
That sounds like a good campaign, to be fair.
That sounds like a great one shot that we're still waiting to finish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Mhm.
us taking the piss out of Danny aside, yes, episodes 26 to 30. This Tales is going to be.
Yeah, or at least as close to 30 as we can get in the hour or so that we have, which I'd imagine there should be plenty of time to catch people up. Because this is following on from the last session where you had Solastranzia meet you guys on the boat, where she came to say hi, did bullshittery and douchebaggery, and Cass did douchebaggery back, but you know, just is just, I suppose.
Wait, what? Well, douchebagging.
You.
No.
Right.
Well, I can't remember what bit this was. Oh,
You sassed her a bit.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys ended up in the town of Colossal Tega, which is like the main port trading town of the country, the only one with the international port and ways in and out of the continent, at least from Brial. The countries to the east and west have their own and such, but you guys haven't been there, maybe, yet. We'll see. Evan, you were asked... Well, you know, you went to visit Penelope and you were told that the main Miss Penelope had something for you and to come back and grab it later.
Yep.
That item was a scroll, which
Yep.
she had lifted from Sola, who she'd gone and met in private time. Had no idea what it was for. And the plan was to give it Cass to crack. But given Cass was having a bit of a daydream on session 26, that had to wait. I believe... Yeah. You guys started having a nosy around the town, and I think it was Grey and Persephone, I want to say, were the ones that found the job that you guys ended up doing. The
Yeah,
kobolds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I had to go. Yeah, I had to go and see Penelope, so I told everybody else, go and find us some work to do.
Yeah, because you did that, and you basically sorted as well the merchant stuff that got you guys to there in the first place as well. Yeah. And then so Matt, what found? What did you find?
It was... I think... Did we go to the house? Because I remember we spotted the house.
You went
With guards.
church hopping, and you saw
Yeah.
guards like blockading a part of a road and guarding a house, and obviously you two, being the nosy, inquisitive people you were, went and asked.
Have a
what was
look,
up.
yeah.
So what was it?
And there was a brief description of short monsters, two-legged. Didn't know what it was. Turns out it was kobolds, but we found that out a bit later.
Yeah.
A bit of negotiating for money. And...
Yeah, because you guys negotiated. Because I think Deer joined you on the negotiating your contract, and
being the first time I'd ever done it, we just went, oh.
but you ended up settling 100 gold each, which is,
Yeah, not bad. That's like a normal quest.
well, considering it was like half a day's work at most, it's not bad.
In World, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. But the thing is, adventurers are like the football players of our like real life anyway. Like they get paid like exuberant amounts. But yeah, you ended up finding kobolds. Evan wanted to be set on fire after
Yes,
he
he was trying to be.
after
was
he
being
had
intimidating.
he had bees thrown at him.
Yes, I had tried to be more diplomatic and try and settle this without a war, hopefully. They threw bees at me. I had the cannon try and set the bees on fire, me being included, try and let my aura do a fear effect at the same time. And then somebody called for initiative and didn't let me carry on.
Because it failed. You rolled intimidation and you rolled shit.
No, I hadn't rolled intimidation at that point because I'd done my aura effect to do the fear, and you went, right, you've been damaged. Initiative.
Okay.
Maybe.
But the fight was interesting, though.
Yeah, it was kobold.
Mm-hmm.
Gray joined them for a little bit.
Yes, because of
Double nat one.
wizardy woo bullshittery. I got mind controlled and charmed,
Yeah.
which I was very happy about.
Because I remember, like, it was charm person, you rolled a nat one. And then it was like, about 30 seconds later, everyone remembered, oh shit, you've got advantage. And then because it was, because you were hostile with it. And then he was like, oh yeah, roll with advantage, nat one again. And he was like,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and when the fight started going sour, you decided to leave with them. Well, at least what?
Yes, they wanted me to go down the tunnel with them, which of course I did.
But yeah,
I can't remember how did I? Oh, they followed after and negotiated me coming back.
Yeah, no, you systematically butchered what ones were left, promised it life, and then hunted it down for sport.
Yeah, we burned it alive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Barbaric. How are we going to explain that one?
Kobold.
Exactly.
That's no excuse.
Sort of.
That's one of
You
your
like
methods.
kobolds, but
Kobolds deserve a happy and healthy life, the same as you, motherfucker.
Then why did you throw them at adventurers?
Because I thought maybe you'd do something other than murder hobo.
I did try. You said it failed, and therefore tried to kill them.
Look,
You're the one.
aggressive
you
negotiation.
guys did the bad, not me.
You're the one who ordered their execution. You just decided we were the tools of said execution.
That is a lie.
we were happy to oblige them.
That is such a lie. But yeah, you butchered some kobolds to redeem this suburban home for family of 3.
Reclaim, not redeem. It hadn't sinned.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, true.
Is this
The
a
house-
house
the
mimic
house-
to go with the boat mimic?
Yeah, I was about to say, thank you for being on the exact same line as that. I was thinking, oh, was it a house mimic? In that case, we shouldn't have been involved and let the kobolds find out.
God, that would be a good idea. Next time. Anyway. But yeah, so a cat, and when Cass eventually had the scroll after dealing with these kobolds and being paid, I think Cass actually cracked it, because I know I had a character, Michael, you did it. Evan didn't because he wouldn't have been able to, but you cracked it like almost instantly. I think
Yeah.
Rose/Cass did it really quick as well. Like, it didn't take you too long, did it, Rose?
A few minutes.
Yeah, it was like, I think the hardest part was just doing because the first one was Morse code, and obviously translating that, because obviously like quick, like that. I think that was the hardest thing. The other 3 you did like
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, not bad, because one of them was I'd written in Morse code. The first number is 7, so there you go. The second one was the current rank of its owner, which, from conversations with Penelope, you gathered that essentially they'd been ranked in, like, the wizards and stuff are being ranked in like power and standing, and Sola, who you've been dealing with the most, is ranked number 5. And then it was the ruling clans, the amount of, which is 3, and then add all those numbers together, split it into 3, and that gives you your last number, which was 5. And it opened up and revealed a map with 4 locations marked upon it, which was been done on the map that you see on streams and stuff, so people can see. But yeah, you've got like 4 locations to visit. There's no indication of what they are, what they're for, just where. And I know at some point, I know you guys want to start doing them, but again, I can't remember who said it. But I know one of the characters said that you guys don't want to rush into it too much. You kind of want to like organise and sort yourself out before making a move on any of them, because it's kind of one of them. Once you kick one, the others are going to start preparing and expect it, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you want to be able to. I'm assuming you guys want to be able to go one after another before the others have a chance to really realise what's going on. Am I right in saying that, or is that off?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because the last thing you want them to do, because obviously you've seen these guys have a lot of resources, is like let them prepare, because I think if they were fully prepared, they have more than enough resources and manpower that they could repel you. It's all about precision.
Or trap, or
Yeah. It's about precision. You need to like cut out.
Gotta be quick.
Yeah. But that is until obviously you guys start gaining more and more experience and get more and more powerful, which takes time.
Well, that's why we're building the mind shielding rings, isn't it? Well,
The necklaces. We switched over to necklaces.
we switched. Yeah, necklaces. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys.
That was more for the spying.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to help fighting them as well.
Yeah, so the necklaces essentially give us non-detection, so meaning that we can plan better. Because at the moment, if we were to plan outside of the non-detection, they could be listening in at any one time. So it could be that we reveal something secret that would be a big thing to sway the fight in our way. Without the non-detection, it would just mean that they can literally be listening at any one time, and it will also help us against bloody solar strands. Yeah, it'll be useful.
Am I right in saying you don't like Solar Strand Zeros?
I think it's an accurate assumption.
I just want to. I don't want to assume, but needless to say, I don't think you were there exactly. You're not going to be on Christmas lists.
Yeah, as a player, that obviously I understand why she is a good villain. At the end of the day, she is meant to be disliked by the party. Otherwise, I think there's certain things I can understand about her. Like, she has that want for power, and she wants to, I'm not quite sure of her backstory, but I'm guessing that either she was told she was brilliant from a young age, and she kind of went from that, or she was told that she wasn't brilliant and went with that. Very extremes, because for somebody to the extreme route. Also, I think Cass in particular, I don't know about the other people in the party, kind of doesn't like the fact that magic's outlawed.
Yeah.
Arcane magic for wizards, because they've kind of created their own bed, essentially. Rather than, training and setting up proper academies so that young magic users, when they come to this country, could learn to not go and pluck at the weave here. And, they just went around very different ways. So I think I understand that. At the end of the day, they're not being accepted, and they're going to fight back. I just don't like their methods. I think that's where Cass is from. She doesn't like the fact that instead of, fighting their corner, it is a little bit so, because at the end of the day, I don't know what other people think, but I think Cass kind of sympathises with her a little bit at the same time as disliking her greatly.
So it's like you agree with their goal, but you agree with their reasoning, but you don't agree with their method, sort of thing.
Well, it's just like Cass is not, a perfect person. They multiple times said that they're not heroes. They're not meant to be heroes.
Yeah.
It's just Cass knows when she's doing a bad thing. She doesn't think that Solar understands that what she's doing is a bad thing. There's a difference between the ends justify the means and doing something bad for good. And I think Solar's more, the end justifies the means, whereas Cass and I think Evan as well have always been, we have to do this. It's a horrible thing to do, and we would never forgive ourselves. Like, we've discussed it before that. I know there's stuff that gets revealed a little bit later on, but there's been times where they've had to, you know, quarantine sections and just let people die off, because if not, it spreads. And, you know, like the bubonic plague and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to do a horrible thing for the good of everybody else. Yeah. But so is more like, I'm doing it. She's more selfish as well, if that makes sense. She's doing it for herself, not for other people. She's less of a freedom fighter and more of a terrorist in a way, I think, personally. Because she's doing it for her own good. It's weird, but you get what I mean.
No, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So what does anyone else think?
Pretty much the same. Not so much the sympathising with the magic as the only non-magical. But yeah, the how they're doing stuff is definitely like, no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Kidnapping and the weird experiments, it's all a bit... I kind of see why it's outlawed.
What about you,
yeah, that's interesting. And the difference between Greytail, because you're one of the only few people that are from this country as well, aren't you? So
yeah,
I'm guessing you grew up with that propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have.
But what'd be interesting to know, Lagan? Because obviously you've been watching the episodes and stuff. What do you think then of the wizards? Do you see them as the textbook bad guys? No, can't do right, or do you see it more as that grey?
Especially with some of what I've seen, because I don't know how much. Because you did the Talking the Tales with Argyle and Clarissa.
Yeah.
But I don't want to touch too hard on that outside of that, because, you know, in out of character stuff.
Well, the thing is, this episode.
We can talk out of character.
Yeah. We're talking out of character because this is set after that TTT. So
just
people
like
watching this. People watching this should have seen
there.
it. Yeah, because obviously the characters don't know that either.
Yeah, it's like, as a spectator, it's like, looking at the main campaign, like, Wizards bad, yeah, they're kind of doing some weird, sketchy shit. Looking over here, it's like, no, bad. Don't do that.
Just some, like,
maybe just delete magic, Alt F4.
Yeah, just do an F5, just start again.
I think though as well, because as players, we played in this world before, and, you know, we played magic users and, like, big magic users and stuff like that to a certain degree, so then maybe that's a little impacting, especially what I say, because I played a wizard last campaign, so it's a bit...
Some of the bias is bleeding through.
Yeah, I'm slightly biased. But, I don't know, if it was that there was a good wizard who was like, yeah, I want to fight against this, I need your help, there was some kind of underground resistance, I think I would be fully behind that. It's just the fact that in order for them, it's less about making them accepted and them taking control. I think that's a big difference. For me, personally, anyway, is, you know, they don't want it to be, oh yeah, we all want to be friends, and, you know, even though that technically isn't realistic, but...
Yeah, knowledge is a good thing.
No, I think because stuff like that basically it gives the users the ability to tap into their potential without the risk of them doing the evil stuff that then makes the likes of liches and stuff.
Yeah, because on paper it's like, okay, you can't be a wizard. Hey, look, here's a demon over here. Just ask them for superpowers instead of learning superpowers yourself, and that's better somehow, we guess.
My point exactly.
It's a valid point. Because obviously things like pacts with higher beings and stuff isn't because it's granted sort of thing, because the prejudice it comes.
So that would be legal in the world then.
Oh yeah, it is entirely so.
They probably wouldn't go around saying I get my power from a demon. They'd probably treat it as a god, and then be considered the same as a cleric.
Yeah, like some elder being or something like that. But yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of the prejudice, and I've said it, like I'll keep saying it, it's to do with the way the magic's get obtained. Like
it's the experimentation.
Yeah, sorcerers, it's innate, and you're born with it. It's your own ability. Like paladins, clerics, it's all given. It's granted. Whereas incorrectly so entirely. Out of character this is, but wizards and artificers to a degree, but it's a lot harder to spot one because obviously artificers hide it in the engineering stuff. It's seen as they're taking it. It's not given. It's not innate. It's, you know what I mean.
Can I ask a question then? Because
Yeah.
I've been wondering this for a little while.
Go on.
How do they identify a wizard?
That's a good question.
The kind of thing is, it's kind of Blair Witchy, where if
Do they take out like a lot of bards? Just because there are a lot of spells that cross over between
yeah.
classes.
Oh yeah.
So is it that
Or people getting wrongfully arrested.
Like yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no, yeah. Think Blair Witch trials. You know where like say if two bickering women didn't like each other and one accused the other of being a witch.
Ooh.
There has been instances.
I'm against the
There has
Salem
been.
witch trials. They're horrible. Like if you actually read what happened, they were
Obviously,
horrific. So-
obviously, there's a lot less mistakes because clerics and stuff can be used in sometimes to sort of do some check, but then even then they're not accurate. They're by no means accurate. And yeah, there has been, and like this is all out of character, but yeah, no, there has been, and there will definitely be many more mistakes where bards, sorcerers, people who aren't what they're being told they are punished wrongfully.
It kind of makes the interesting question then. This is what I love about these sorts of, games and stuff like that, is who is actually technically the bad people?
Yeah.
Is it, the witch hunters that are killing innocent people in order to take care of one magic user? Or is it the magic user that's being forced into darkness because they have no way of acceptance?
And
It's a really
They could have just gone to a school.
with the exception of Greytail, I think that actually makes it better that all of the PCs are from out of the country, because you're getting a completely non-biased opinion of it, and it's interesting watching you guys toe the line of like where you end up falling, what side you pick, what choices you make, because obviously Grey's is slightly different because he's from the country. He has a slightly more indoctrinated opinion because of hearing it, seeing
It's also a lot easier not being magical.
Exactly. But everyone else is magically innate in some degree, but are not from the country. So, but again, Dia's from the same continent, and he's sort of involved, but Brial's far more fanatical with it. And it's interesting watching you guys see it from like a very neutral perspective, and someone who could very easily be affected.
Well, this is it.
Because if
Like I
someone,
was thinking of this. Sorry, carry on.
oh yeah, because I was going to say, if someone took a real disliking to you and had the power to do so, they could frame you as a wizard if they really wanted.
It depends on the magic if it is that you can prove yourself.
Oh yeah.
But I think there are still people that are forced into, like, I don't know. I don't know if Michael's felt the same way, but like ever since it's been introduced, Cat and Evan don't hate, arcane magic users, but they are seen as not less than, but just pitied almost, I guess. We didn't settle on something, but we were like saying, it is a theological society, Armdia is, so, but this has kind of turned their way of thinking, I guess. But it definitely did for Cats, but I think that's because they got Mortazora next to them, and Mortazora is like an arcane hotbed, like, all the wizards go there.
You mean, is that because, by
and
arcane hotbed and all the wizards go there, you mean Morgan?
No, I know Morgan, well, I think it was after the rewrite of the actual world, which is always an interesting thing. There was time travel. There was time travel at some stage.
The deck of many things, yay.
Technically different universe, but yeah.
Exactly. Even though we've had
Massive,
this conversation, it's really dark.
Technically, let's not get involved in that one.
Let's leave that one for another time.
Yeah, big multiverse, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey theories and stuff. It was a mess, but it was fun.
Brilliant mess, though.
But like taking a side step from that, the next thing was you had visitors in the night. Woohoo!
Yes. Some visitors, yes. So we've made a few friends, we've done some inquiries around town, and then as we were spending some time building stuff, the planned assault on us in the tavern failed, that the secondary assault on us being on the derrick happened.
Yeah.
Our food was poisoned, I would like to say.
Laced.
Spiked.
Spiked, yeah.
It was drugged. Could
Yep.
be.
Sleep powder.
Knock powder,
Yeah.
That's what they called it.
99.
Magic rehypnol. Like, literally, that is what it is.
Oh yeah, like pretty much, and basically the properties is unlike the sleep spell where like it works immediately. What it does is it makes it so that when you fall to sleep, it then becomes magically induced, so you can't be woken outside of like someone trying to actively wake you up.
Oh, okay.
But it had the same roles like sleep spells, so you had to roll like the HP. So like say if you guys had got into a fight and gone to bed injured, it would have made it a whole lot easier, but obviously you were in town, you guys were fairly safe. I think we did realise afterwards, but it was like kind of way too late to retcon it. I dicked myself out of 1d8 by accident, but the only person that would have been affected was Cass, maybe, who I think was like 4 HP off being sleepy. 1. Oh, so yeah, you would have definitely have gone down, but unfortunately, fortunately for you guys, the fight went very quickly. Yeah, I think one guy got one shot, the other guy got knocked out, and the third one surrendered.
Yep.
Very easy.
Well, surrender wasn't really the term. Well, he did surrender.
He chucked the stuff off the boat.
Yeah, I chucked all this stuff off the boat and then realised. Yeah, she's like, okay, I've got compelled to throw all this stuff off, and then went, I have no weapons, and you have a big hammer next to my head.
Mm-hmm.
It was
a no-brainer.
You were very insistent on.
I nearly made him a no-brainer.
You were very insistent on to extend his life expectancy past anything other than 5 more seconds, that he would surrender, and he agreed.
Good deal.
Yeah, like you were very sure that he wasn't going to live for like another 10 more seconds if he didn't. So, and you were probably right. But yeah, and obviously the one guy was dead. The other guy you interrogate, who was a bit more timid and fresh-faced, young, who kind of blabbed a bit about a fair bit, but was clearly like doing it in kind of like a please don't kill me sort of thing. And Matt took him up top deck. People didn't know what for, but he let him go.
I sympathised with him because he kind of paralleled Greytail's backstory when he was talking. He's like, ah, shit. So yeah, I took him upstairs, questioned him a little bit about what he would do if I let him go. Told him to get on a ship. And with a lucky charisma, maybe, he agreed.
Yeah, and the homunculus of Boomer watched over him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He kind of had a mild panic attack for a little bit, and then spoke with a person on a boat and got on it, and the homunculus came back and reported. You don't know what happened to him afterwards.
Nope.
But you assume that he's off somewhere doing something.
Yeah.
Go up in decks.
The cleric, though, the seeming leader of the two that were dealt with, you interrogated him for a while. You did this in the non-detection bubble that Cass had set up. And that was led by Evan. And it was kind of like a dick swinging contest between the two of them, almost.
It was more on the lines of. I'd say it was more on the lines of, fine. You were going to try and do what you do. Just come on, just sell me on what you were trying to do.
Yeah, and the conclusion was that he was in the business to find you guys adopted forever homes.
Which is again a cowardly euphemism for slavery.
Oh, No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Slavery. It's
Yeah.
definitely slavery.
No. Forever homes.
If you're one out of 8 people that's saying it's a forever home, you're the one who's wrong.
But I'm the DM.
Majority of it.
No, that's not how this works.
Oh, it does. But yeah, they had a bit of a chat, I think, where, like Michael was saying, it was seemed to be more surrounded of this guy. I thought was quite malicious, to be honest, in the way that he we later found out, obviously, some more stuff about him, but it seemed like he was really playing up the villainous slave trader.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else felt the same, but it
Yeah,
was...
he very much seemed like he enjoyed his job.
There seemed like almost no redeeming qualities about him. He
No.
was very much a not nice person.
Which then led to the discussion of what to do with him. Do we drop him off another place? Do we take him to the guards? Do we execute him? Like, what do we do here? And it was quite interesting to discuss for a bit.
I think we were very
then-
split on that one as well.
And then I reminded you guys the fact because it was like you guys discussing this. You'd put him in another room with the mimics and basically told the mimics if he wakes up, like scream or something.
Yeah.
And then you guys remembered, oh shit, we didn't take anything off him. What if he had like poison or something?
There's something that happened before that point, though.
Oh,
Before we went back.
go on then.
A slight
Evan slipped
conversation.
up,
Oh
Yeah,
shit! Yeah,
that was
yeah,
before opinion.
and then Cass slipped up, and then we both went, "Oh shit!" As Greytail started to pull on the thread.
Mm.
And yeah, Cass and Evan revealed their backstory.
Yeah, started bragging about how when they were in charge, so I jumped on them. Hang on, that doesn't make sense. Because I've never heard of you, and you're not old enough.
Yep. And all these distracted from dear zombie friends. Yay.
Yeah, no.
Oh no, I still have that written down. I am waiting. I am biding my time to talk.
No, there's no need for that. No.
Well, I was thinking about this, right? Like, because I was trying to think of why Cass hates it so much, and then I realised it's because her body, she doesn't know what happened to it. So at the end of the day, if it's being used in some kind of like, we don't know what's going on to their home, you know, at the moment, or, you know, maybe they had their heads cut off and cut and spiked, so like sanctity after death might be a thing. But yeah, Alagan, I did want to ask you, as like an audience member, what was it like for you on the outside? Then did you catch any of what was going on before Casanova revealed everything?
Some of it was like, oh, this is interesting information, but without, like, enough context of what's supposed to be private backstory that accidentally got leaked, just because, like, I initially started watching around the Displacer Beast territory, and I watched kind of linearly from there and then went backwards.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like, information that might have been a big drop, it's like, oh yeah, that's just more exposition, and, you know...
Yeah, because a couple of little slips had happened here and there in the build-up, and like, Greytail by far and away was the single most person that was like, "There's something not right here." Hold on.
Yeah.
I think that was against Cass though, like because Cass has a. Don't worry, she'll be doing with Bian. Likes to kill people's backstory out of them.
Yeah, get writing your backstory now. Cause,
What do you mean get writing? I already have it. You want to see my
Oh,
character?
you have it. See, no, I didn't. For a while.
I've got family tree, I've got childhood, I've got what you want.
I am so happy you have a family tree because
It doesn't go up much, it's just immediate, like, family
Roach
growing
has
up
a family
with.
tree.
No, mine goes 4 generations up and 4 generations down. We built a country, like literally, Danny. We went. So Cass and Evan are like backup characters from campaign
The previous
Multisaura.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were like, oh, we're going to use these, and then
We never
no, and we were like, Danny, can we do this for backup characters? And then he let us have free reign. So yeah, we built a country, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More on that to come.
Yeah, clarifying, I do not have anything outside of immediate family because that is Dan's to play with.
Yeah.
Oh no, I understand completely. Ours was just because we were building like Cass is like I think she's 700 and something, like really also there was a lot that was going on, so we did go like really in depth into it. I mean, if she dies, I will be sad because of all that work would go to waste. Obviously, I'll be sad if the character dies. I've already decided if Daniel will allow me, I'll build another country. I don't care.
No, better yet. If Cass dies, the only like place she can be from is Burgundia. The next time.
I do have a backup character in mind, but that's for a different chat.
Yeah, that can be from Burgundia. There we go.
Yeah, we'll catch up. But no, for me it was interesting because the only reason I made it so that Cass does, she is very insightful and she purposely tries to put backstories out of characters. Because if not, it can be almost like thrown in at one time. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like somebody wants to reveal their backstory and it doesn't actually feel the right time. But we're all people at the end of the day. When you create something that's really cool, you want to share it with people. So that's why I did it, and it's worked out so far. It actually makes funny times, you know, how I think it was in the first few sessions where Cass found out that Dia was sent after an ice golem, and Cass is pretty certain that Dia was told there was an ice golem to get at him out of the tribe a little bit. I don't know if that's true, but that's headcanon. I don't really know much about Beamer's backstory other than he's from Multisora and Magog was his dad, so...
Master.
In quotation marks, master.
He's not even a barrel or box, I can never remember.
In a box.
He was in a box.
He was in a box breaking swords.
It's funny, that's how we met him as well.
Persephone, obviously. I think Persephone's definitely got the... I'm not sure if it's the darkest, but it's definitely one of the darker kind of backstories in the group. We're adventurous.
It's only dark because Carl fucked up on learning about how elves age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he
Doesn't
said,
help.
22. Like, 22 is not a problem until when you're on human years. When we asked whether he translated 22 to elf years, no, they're 22-year-old elf. Oh, so you're a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair though, to Carl's credit as an RP person,
He's
gone with it, yeah.
Well, not only did he not retcon it, but have you noticed that he's tweaked his RP style to fit that?
Yeah.
And I think you know
Rebellious teenager, toddler.
Fucking credit to Carl. I think he's done pretty fucking well adapting. Like because obviously,
Oh god, yeah.
it wasn't his fault that he kind of misread and fucked up. That's fine.
It's easily done.
But he could have easily gone, well, okay, let's just retcon it. I'm now 122. But no, instead he's fucking just gone with it, and I think he's done really well with it.
I think it's made a really interesting party dynamic, to be honest. Because when we all first started, you know, we had a little bit of... Every party tries to find out who's going to be the leader, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. And I think it made party conflict without making negative party conflict. You know, like when...
It's never a fight. It's you looking after him.
Yeah. But it was during all
it's
this...
good. It carries the story. Because I really want to see where Persephone goes as a character. Like, does she develop into... you know, starting to understand what actually happened to her? Does she start to move away from her? But I just think it'll make a really interesting storyline for the campaign. I think that's
a good
everybody.
character arc. Yeah.
Yeah, massively.
But during all this revelation and backstory talk and explanation, you then remembered you had a guy tied up in the back that could be waking up any moment. That you'd forgot to strip of anything bar his book and spell focus.
Yep.
And then it was like, shit, what if he stowed a knife to cut the rope or whatever? Mm-hmm. And you all went scattering to him. He was breathing. That was fine. And you started searching him, and does anyone want to explain all that cool stuff? Because I know, Rose, you particularly liked it, didn't you? The discovery.
No, I was just... for me, I think it was interesting because it made it a little bit. If it was that he was just a bad guy, it's, you know, very similar to certain things that happened throughout this campaign. I think it was just, it kind of added a new. I'm trying to think of how to pronounce this word. Perspective. There we go. Perspective. Yeah. So it's like we've been instantly not trusting people. You know, I know Cass does it quite a bit. There's been times where we met the assassins. They were clearly trying to kill us. This guy was clearly trying to kill us. But it was more like when we found it just proved some theories wrong, I guess, that I'd been having, which I thought was really interesting from the point of view of maybe we should think things through a little bit more on that side of things. Yeah. You know, not instantly murder hobo, which we don't really do, but, you know, from like bleed over from Maltazora was we were fighting devils, so of course you kill the devils. Do you know what I mean? So we came into, well, I'm trying to think what our first...
knowing who your enemy was easy in the last campaign, because it was just like, they got horns, blow its head off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The last campaign, it was mostly black and white. Like, they're the bad guys, they're the good guys. Whereas this campaign, and it's been done so, because I've tried to put a lot of effort into the campaign and the world building, but it's a lot of grey because it's that
more
deciding
realistic.
who is right and who do you stick with. At what point do you think, okay, no, these wizards actually are kind of right, I'm going to side with them? Or at what point do you go, no, they're definitely the bad guys, we're staying where we are?
So, no, I think it's slightly different. I know where you're coming from with, like, the different shades of grey, but I don't think... I think that last time it was more good, evil, good guy, bad guy kind of deal. We knew that the Mind Flayers were trying to kill us all and eat our brains, or turn us into mindless zombies, and the devils wanted to take over the material plane. This one, it's been more kind of like, people are just people, but they will do good actions and bad actions.
Yeah.
I felt like that really strongly from the beginning with the, right back when we were dealing with Hagen. Was it Hagen or Hagar or something?
Hagen, yeah.
Yeah, Hagen was that kind of thing of, you know, we're trying to take down the establishment and we are going to free you. And there's been a lot of, like, play on words and, like, twisting perceptions and stuff like that to be like, oh, look at our point of view. And I think it's just been quite interesting, especially as a player, to be like, actually, that guy is lying to me. This is a little bit more in... There's always felt like there's something to dig further down into. It's not two-dimensional and... Yeah, not that the campaign one was at all. It's just... This one just seems a bit more in-depth. Like, you know... You unpeel one layer and there's like another 10 beneath it and you keep peeling it back.
But obviously...
Like, I was just going to say, with Kravala and all that kind of thing, we almost killed her, and then she continued on throughout the campaign for a little bit because we started to realise, actually, this is technically... There's been lots of times where I don't know if everybody else has done, but I have sat there and gone, oh, are we actually the bad guy in this scenario? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's
but what did you find, Rose? What made this guy have an extra layer?
I found some rations, and inside is this, like, hard tack, like, I don't know, tough bread.
Essentially, it's like a really, really dry
ship's
cracker.
biscuits. Yeah. It's the backup foods that ships carry. It's like really hard biscuits. It keeps well for months.
And inside we found a metal... we found some
like
metallic...
flat piece of metal, yeah.
Yeah, flat piece of metal, which we unfolded and found three sheets of paper in, two of which was basically an explanation of this guy's target and what he was supposed to do, his identity that he was going to assume, and a ticket to try and get inside the slave auction that was happening.
Yeah, as a customer rather than an employee.
An employee.
And by the way, I thought the metal box hidden inside a biscuit was brilliant.
I did.
I thought that was really cool. I thought that was cool. It's such a simple idea.
And the thing was as well, it was a DC 20 check to find it. You guys could have never have found it and never would have known.
Could you? Could you have never found it with Casablanca?
That is true. You do have stupid modifiers, but no, if like you guys would have not seen it, like you think of the possibilities that you
Someone would have
missed.
repeated.
Well, this is the really interesting part. Until we found that thing, I think most of the party were, ready to kind of off him.
Oh yeah.
Which sounds bad, but I think there was even talk. I know Persephone was saying to throw him off the boat and all this kind of stuff. Like, we could have essentially. I mean, he's not a good guy. Don't get me wrong. I do think he has done terrible stuff in his past. As he's been infiltrating, he's a spy, isn't he? So he's not got the cleanest sheet in the book. But still, we could have killed him without finding out any of this information. So I think that was why it was so clever. And like, Matt said, it was like a simple but ingenious thing.
Yeah.
Like,
so simple, it could have easily been missed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
it was about to we were about to murder him.
Yeah, and not only that, but his god that he was serving was not the god that his persona was, and like he went the full 9 yards with it. And
what was his persona of god then?
Bane, I think it was, which is the god of anarchy. Tyranny.
You were going for tyranny or something like that.
I can't remember without actually looking, because I haven't got that notes, not on the things I've got. But instead, he was the god of judgment. Instead.
Yeah, Thea, right?
Yeah. And it was interesting because it was just a case of, this guy had gone like the full 9 yards to fully done like horrific things just to get close to Aper, which was the leader of the slavers.
He was in deep cover.
Yeah. And his goal was to essentially work his way to the top and earn himself private time with Aper and deal with it then one-on-one rather than in front of the however many guards and whatever.
There's something really interesting that you said that I think kind of endeared him to Cass a little bit. I think he said, if he was to die now, or if his cover was revealed, it would make every bad thing he'd done worthless. And I thought that was a really interesting take on it, because it's not like a character saying, oh yeah, I had to do this because I was undercover. It was like, I've done terrible shit. At least this is a benefit. It was just a different view take on, because sometimes you joke that, we killed the kobolds because, they were just looking to try and do it. It wasn't like that. It actually felt based in reality and like actual feelings. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because obviously he's done a lot of bad stuff and he doesn't like it. But then if he fails, basically everything he's done was fuck all. Like, then I'd have been better off just not bothering, because then I wouldn't have done all the nasty stuff.
It was the way it was said though. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I had like Solar. So Solar and this guy are two very different people, and I think I explained this earlier, where Solar's like, I'm doing this because they're doing that, and it's all kind of like trying to balance the scale in their favour. This guy's like, yeah, my scale's never going to be balanced, but I've done terrible things, but it would be worthless if I couldn't end the job, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's more accepting that he's done horrible things rather than trying to justify those horrible things.
Yeah, and
it was really easy to take.
Yeah, and obviously discovering what these guys were about and what you want. And I know you guys wanted to deal with them, but it was kind of like, we've got enough on our plate, and now you'd suddenly got like someone on the inside, and that was where you guys started then playing like, hang on, we might actually be able to do something here.
So yeah, after a conversation with this guy, we ended up deciding to assist him. So we split the party to try and help, as it were.
Oh, sorry, I was laughing because you just said we split the party, which is rule 101 of D&D.
I mean,
do not split the party.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked.
I mean, it very nearly did.
We nearly TPK.
Well, yeah, we got away with it.
But we'll get to that in
We
a
were
minute.
fine.
But yeah, so you willingly had yourselves captured, and basically the story was the other two got killed. this guy managed to capture 3 of you. The other 3 escaped on the ship, and you guys, the 3 that were left, went on the ship and actually sailed away. And the plan was to use the invitation to basically get APA from both ends and just try and deal with the problem. One from the fight pit, one from the customer side of things. And it was party time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, and basically this is the last session up to current where Cass, you were leading team party. Evan, you were with team dungeon. And yeah, you were in the cells, you were being treated lovely, you were being looked after. Cass, you were planning, plotting, gathering resources, gathering things.
I can't let him just eat food. Get the dish.
So, what did you guys do?
So yeah, I think Boomer started working on some acid, just in case it was needed, and managed to get black pudding acid.
I did.
Yeah.
What
Shit, man.
Look, you could eat through metal.
Mm.
Yeah, because I believe the original plan was you guys were basically gonna, like, chuck her in the pit with whatever you guys were fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where Evan's kind of vengeance side comes from. Like, it was very, I don't know, Michael, you can obviously say more than I, but it did feel a little bit like, yeah, she'll fight it.
Oh no, it wasn't she'll fight it, she'll die to it.
Yeah.
Exactly, it was like, you thought that we would, but you will. But I kind of like that aspect of Evan, that kind of eye for an eye kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't actually remember what Persephone was going to do, but yeah, she ended up taking finishing lessons.
Yeah, I believe.
I
think the original intention was she was going to dress up to be a bodyguard.
And ended
Yeah,
up in a dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, because I thought, so out of character between the sessions, I was kind of like trying to think to myself, who would believe this tiny little blue girl that would probably not be incredibly intimidating because she'll say something that's a little, like, for example, you know, when we went to the alchemist school, I was anticipating that would happen again, and I was like, no one's going to be that. Persephone's a bodyguard. So I tailored it slightly to assistant.
I believe if we'd have stuck to Persephone to a very similar thing to how we told Deer to act, which was very simple,
I think that
small
would
set
work.
of, let's say, simple, small set of parameters, which is stand there, look intimidating, don't say anything. I think
Yeah. Be the
Persephone
strong
would have
silent type.
been, be the strong silent type. It'd have been fine. Same way we told Deer to basically just talk, ask 2 questions, and try to sound as genuine and disconcerting as you can at the same time. And it worked.
Haha. He doesn't know what those words mean, though. But it's confusing anyway.
Joke's on you,
I'm
I
so
don't even know what that
surprised
means.
Deer didn't
Yeah.
ask every single person, did they know where to find an ice golem, and do they want to run a country?
That is
I mean, he
true.
probably did.
But yeah, so you guys started attending the ball, and were like, you were kind of all being watched. Not for these guys are suspicious. Let's keep an eye on them. But it was more nice. It was the you guys are new. We haven't seen you guys around here. Almost as if that some people recognize each other, and You met some interesting people, including this weird pink Triton.
Hi, it's me. I'm the pink weird Triton.
Essentially, like, you were going round the different tables, doing the nice, charmy stuff that you always do, have fun, and you met these interesting new people that you've never seen before.
Yeah. Vian can cast something like 10 charm persons per day or something absurd like that, and her family is kind of just using her as a tool to, hey, let's just, like, have the entire important people charmed while all the fighting and auctioning is going on.
Because profit.
And she stumbled right into the party because her overeagerness saw a fellow aquatic creature and was like, oh my gosh, you're new, I would have recognized you if you weren't new. Who are you? How did you get here? Why are you here? Let's be friends.
And it literally went kind of just like that.
Nah.
And you guys were talking amongst each other for a while, and you ended up the fight was ready to go pretty much at the same time. You guys were talking, and you ended up taking your new friends into the fight room. See, and obviously the rest of the party saw their friends in the pit below. And yeah, Liam. What was the creature you guys ended up fighting? What was it like? As the most defensible person in the fight who didn't take any damage.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy to fight, you know. It didn't hurt me at all.
Nah, didn't get you.
Yeah.
It's very weak, I think.
Shall I make it stronger next time?
No.
No, how
Liam.
about it just...
As long as it's not faster, that'll be fine.
As long as
I
it's
think
not
nearly one
fast.
shot me.
Faster, it'll be fine.
Okay, so long as it's not faster, I can make it stronger. Okay, thanks, Liam. Appreciate the input.
What Danny basically means there is he's going to put it back up to the original stats.
Pretty much, to give it its normal shit. But no, like, it was a Skywitch, and like I said, I just fell in love with its one ability, the fate thing, where you guys, the characters wasn't aware, but I had to make the players involved in the fight initially, which was just 3 of you, to essentially predict how each other will die and at what level, and depending on if you're right or wrong, there's great reward and great wrong to come. And obviously, I'm
looking forward
interesting
to that.
enough. 2 of you guess the same level as for one other person. So
Okay.
What?
all the actual methods of death are different, obviously, but 2 of you said the same level. So it'll be interesting. Because basically what I'll do is once we go past, like, say if someone guessed level 2, and the second you guys hit level 3, I'd basically say, okay, this prediction was made at level 2. It didn't happen. This is the consequence or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Wait, there's consequences for guessing wrongly.
Not much.
Apparently.
Not much, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
if
there's
you,
only a 1 in 7 billion chance.
but if you get it
Wow.
right, if you get it right,
Don't make sure mine goes right.
No, there's 20 different levels and a multitude of different ways that you can get it. It's like a 1 in a billion chance, several billion chance.
but yeah, this Skywitch was enraged and pretty mean. It could basically impose failed death saves on you just by hitting you. It had a
While you're still alive, yeah.
yeah, and it actually said in the and that was its basic attack, and it basically said if you accumulated more than 3 hits, more than 3 fails, when you hit 0, you just die. You don't drop down to death saves. You dead.
This thing 3 shots. Whoever you
You did
are.
have to actually hit 0. I looked up the creature out of just sheer curiosity
no.
of knowing I wouldn't
Yeah.
be fighting this anyway.
Oh yeah, no, you have to hit, like, so you can have the 3 death save fails and still be okay so long as you've got HP.
Ah, okay.
But say if I hit
And then
you,
as soon
Gray-
as you go down.
yeah. So say, Gray, if I hit
So-
you twice, you got healed up, and then I hit you a 3rd time so you didn't go down, you had 3 death save fails, you'd still be alive.
How
But if
So
you
I'm
hit
not
0,
dead then.
Was that a once you hit 0 or once you go below 0? Because
Once
if
you
you were
hit-
hit for
if you
if you-
hit like
'cause
if you hit exactly 0, you dead. It doesn't
Okay.
say past, it says hit 0.
okay, so if the case,
Ridiculous.
if the case that we've been hit by this creature like 3 times.
Yeah.
Earlier in the day we killed it. That's fine. I've still got 3 death saves, and somebody sneaks up behind me and hits me non-lethally
Yeah.
to reduce me to 0. I still die.
Because the non-lethal's different to if someone's intending lethality, then that's different than non-lethal. We as DMs homebrew and agree that But no, like, it says that these death save fails stay until you complete a long rest. So yeah, say if you'd have fought this Sky Witch in the morning and then got into a bar fight at night and someone, like, cracked you, intending harm, knocked you past the it'd kill you.
Which would be a really awkward thing in court where it's like, I just hit him once. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no.
All they did was slap him.
Yeah, no, literally. Like, it actually specifies you keep these fails until you do a long rest, which obviously you guys haven't yet, so the death save fails you've got, you still technically have.
Yeah, we know.
Who's gonna slap them when they come back?
Like, it's like this creature, like, and I'll quickly pull up its stat block, because I want to tell you its other abilities that I never... Like, it was my fault, I forgot to use them.
You didn't forget magic was down.
Yeah, no, but it could have done it in the first couple rounds up to as well.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's destructive wave thing that you said it could do, because you said it got that on a recharge.
Right, so it had bend fate 3 times a day. That when it failed a saving throw, it could just choose to pass it instead. It would still have to suffer the effects of being passed, and then it could shoot it to another target. Then they have to roll a save.
I'm so glad you didn't do that, because otherwise you could have just gone, stunned, fuck off.
Yeah, no, I could have just passed the stun and then gone, you know what, Michael, make a save.
You could have just gone, no, you could have done that, or you could even better have gone, no, you, back at Rinku.
Yeah, and
Rinku,
that's just straight up 3 times a day.
Great.
Just replace the map with an Uno reverse.
Yeah, not only that, but it can Misty Step as a bonus action, just at will. As a bonus action. The Sealed Destiny, which is the thing where you had to predict. You know about the inexorable threads. The Bind Fates 1 a day was 1 creature within 60 feet must make a DC 18 Wisdom save. On a fail, that creature is bound to 1 random ally of that target. Any damage or condition target the suffers inflicted, the other inflicts as well, and vice versa. So basically binds you guys. So say if I chose Grey, I'd then have to roll randomly between all the other party members, and you two be interlinked. So, like, say if Grey got hit for 30 damage, the other person would. If the other person got hit for 10 damage, you'd get hit for 10 damage, and that's a 1 a day.
That's insane.
And then, no, the last one is brutal. In a 60-foot cone, recharges on a 5 and 6. It does a it's called the Destiny Distortion Wave. You must make a Wisdom saving throw of DC 18 or take 10d10 force damage. Half as much on a pass. And if more than one target that failed its saving throw... And if more than one target is affected by a condition that's failed, those conditions are randomly redistributed among the targets who failed their save. So if someone was stunned and failed, that stun could move to someone else and just stun him. Just straight up. It's horrific.
That's so weird.
Yeah, literally. So if anyone had conditions and failed, you randomly redistribute the conditions to other people that failed. Because it like bending reality and stuff. It's such an interesting creature. And it was some of its abilities and stuff. It was just like, that's just too cool not to use. I had to. It was strong. It was a CR 12. I know I don't like CR, but I know some people like to know. It was CR 12. So it was pretty strong.
It was pretty strong for the part
It
of
was
the
deadly.
facing.
Yeah, but you guys always outperform CR by 3 or 4 times anyway. It was touch and go and I think if I hadn't nerfed its attacks, I think if it had been doing 2 attacks a turn, it would have been
Definitely.
It would have been instant. But you see, that's the knowledge of a DM that kind of knows his party. I knew that would be too much, and I tweaked it enough where it was an extremely difficult fight and could have very easily gone bad. Given
It was a
everything else.
scary fight.
Yeah. But it wasn't a whitewash. You know what I mean? It wasn't you guys just all died instantly. It wasn't you guys stomped it easily. It was a really good and interesting challenge, especially with the fact that partway through the fight, magic stopped working entirely, and occurred for 24 seconds for combat rounds. No magic worked. people that had concentration spells, the magic that was used to protect the spectators, the wall of force and stuff, stopped, giving everyone else the opportunity to attack. And oh boy, that created some interesting things. And considering that the two really weak casters in Cass and Aper just started a bitch slap fight, it was great.
He attempted to join in, but
I
just
think what you
failed
gotta
as
do
well.
sometimes.
It was great,
Classic.
like, because the two people that are like the most reliant on their magic, just in a fisticuffs. It was just great.
It wasn't a fisticuffs. That was a cat fight. Like, I'm not going to say any differently.
Oh,
Oh, no,
yeah.
I mean, cat did punch her in the face.
I mean,
I mean, with the cat fight when they got
I mean-
involved.
I mean,
yeah,
It's,
you call
it's
you
how
call
I
it.
fight, yeah.
I was gonna say you call it a cat fight.
It's about.
I mean, Greytail is usually in a cat fight. Like,
Oh no.
it's not in character.
I'm in character. I'm
Rose,
okay with it.
Rose, run! Matt's coming.
It's out of character, it's fine.
On Rose's door now.
But no,
Oh no.
I did like that entire, like, as much as it was stupid, like the magic, because the magic was meant to turn back on a 1 to 14, and the fact that it lasted 4 rounds, like, that was it's not impossible, but it's extremely improbable. And but no, I think I actually, as the from the DM side, I enjoyed that fight quite a bit. I don't know what you guys thought. I thought it was an extremely difficult fight for you guys, but there was always a way out that I could see for you guys. And I thought it was such a good fight. Like, it was just so entertaining. I don't know about, what do you guys think?
I get where you're coming from. I'm more on the other side. I mean, it's good because obviously most fights we can do things. I think it was just, if the first 3 rounds had gone worse and somebody had gone down in the pit,
Yeah.
it would have been bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
we
so
were.
if someone was down and you turned magic off,
Oh,
that's
fuck
no
yeah.
healing.
Oh, God,
Death
yeah.
saves without the ability to heal them.
I never thought of that. You're right, yeah. The only way you'd have been able to do it is medical checks, like going up and, like,
Say, for example,
Would potions have even worked?
ooh.
they are magical items, which would
The
turn
technically,
them off.
Yeah, no, I would say the liquid probably become innate for a time.
Yeah.
So this is it. So you said earlier that, say for example, if that thing had critted against Greytail and dropped into 0 hit points, and in 3 rounds and he'd just gone because he'd taken 3 death saving throws. If magic had been off for more than a few rounds and had been off for a full minute,
Yeah.
it is highly unlikely and highly improbable. Or if it had come back on and I couldn't get close to him because of the barrier with the wall of force, we wouldn't have been able to revive him. He
That-
would have died.
God, yeah, that would
Without
have been the most cruelest thing for the characters. Like, that would have been,
Danny?
I'd never considered that. You're right, yeah.
No, Danny. Here's something I also don't know if it was considered or not. What if I'd have died?
Oh,
Ah.
Oh.
Would his body have gone? Where would his soul have gone?
well, that depends on the range of the effects of the no magic, because obviously, say if your other bodies were.
No. So, but the thing is, though, it's so the way that we described it with you, because that's the reason why.
Oh no! I think
No, this is already
Fine.
come out. This is all, no. A soul's not magic. That would have gone to pass over. But say if the body that
No, but the magic wouldn't have kicked in to get his soul to go.
no, the soul would go to pass on and then would be grabbed once it went outside of the range of whatever thing, depending on the range.
I'd say, where does the soul go? Does it not just slip off the plane at that point?
Yeah.
Would it not just have slipped off the plane inside the anti-magic?
It's kind of like a weird thing because like as it would have started to shift into the other plane, then it would have technically been outside of the no magic and would have ended up probably being yanked back somewhere else.
If
Yeah,
he would have
that's-
he would have woken up in his clone.
Yeah. So long as the way I'm going to say that would work is so long as the clone was outside of the dead zone, so long as the dead zone wasn't global, which you guys don't know, I would say it would still work.
Okay.
Because it's that's the magical thing that's pulling the soul rather than anything from the body that just got killed. Do you know what I mean?
That shows you a little bit, like, because I didn't think about that. But yeah, like,
No, I hadn't
there
thought
was
of
so
that, but yeah, that's how
opportunity.
I would rule it. So long as,
Yeah.
because obviously I know the actual range. You guys haven't found it in session yet, so I'm not going to spoil it. So long as the body of the next Evan is outside of the range, it would work.
So there's all sorts of different things. I think we were very lucky with what happened in that fight. Like, if one or two things had dropped, we would have all dropped, and I think it would have been in. So if it was that the magic had come back and April had started taking out the people on the top, technically both Vian and Cass are mainly healers and supports. Like, majority, Persephone is Arrow, but if you can get hold of Persephone, she's quite easy to stop, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, take
She's
the goal away from
herself,
Persephone.
but if you get hold of her, she would have gone down. And then the people in the cage wouldn't have been able to get out, because that was the whole plan for us on the outside to get her to go in.
It's
could have been PK,
Go on,
so there was like multiple. Sorry.
At the very least, Vian was technically third party and hadn't negatively interacted with anything aside from a guard that was mad at being charmed.
Yeah.
So there's like a 30% chance you guys are all just gonna wake up at her mansion, like, under spells of "you work for me now."
Oh god.
Dear.
You know, like the film Hangover, where you all wake up and it's like, where the fuck am I?
It would have been an interesting storyline, but yeah, there's all sorts of different things that could have happened. But that saying off also both helped and hindered. It's weird. It was frustrating at the time, especially because it was on the turn when we came into it. So it was like, oh, we can't use any magic.
Yeah.
Right.
I was in absolute hysterics in response to it, just because of, like, knowledge of what my character did. Like, from your guys' perspective, you don't really know. She's just there as a guest that maybe helps, maybe hurts. From my perspective, she has, like, 12 spells, and all of them have keyword charm on them, and she's got, like, 15 dex and 8 strength, and that is her character in a nutshell.
Not only that
And
as
magic
well.
goes off, and she's just like, I don't have a weapon.
Yeah.
I don't have training in weapons.
Yeah.
I can tell you
that
one
was
thing,
interesting.
we are not letting you out to our sides. After what happened with the less guests, you're not. I know we discussed this outside the character, but yeah. Oh, I think that's it. There were so many different things that could have happened in that fight, so it was really interesting and different. I'm quite looking forward to, like, how far has this thing gone? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I think it could make a really interesting kind of story.
Yeah, because it did end. The session ended with you guys fleeing the facility because you kind of realised that magic was being used to suppress and sedate and capture and contain a lot of different creatures that they used to fight with. That all of a sudden,
basically the power went off in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, like I said, I'd kind of based it off SCP, and that's a video game.
Ah.
It's got a lot of lore. Oh, do you know SCP?
I know of SCP. It's also a wiki.
It's good. I've been watching some YouTube channels where they just do lore dumps on the different SCP creatures. And obviously with D&D Monster Manual and different other book creatures, it was an SCP Foundation sort of thing where she contained creatures to use. And it was, and you guys kind of were like, yeah, let's go. Let's go while they're potentially fighting with each other before they then turn to us. And it was like you took Aper, the unconscious Aper, you took her out, guards were got, and like I said, you guys want to find out, like, how far did that magic go? Why did it do that? Who did it? There's all that to find out. Or you can just go, it'll be fine. Let's just hope it doesn't happen again. Just kind of fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. It genuinely feels like the next beat in the story. It feels like someone's putting the pedal down, essentially. This is gearing up. I don't know, it just feels right for the story. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
You know, you're like, there's like that wheel, isn't there, of a perfect story. This is like the next. This is essentially 7 o'clock. We've gone from 6 to 7. That's the way it feels. So, be interesting.
And yeah, like I said, and what's always interesting is you guys are constantly flitting between. I think at the minute it's 4 major story lines that you could potentially follow one or try and follow them all, and it's interesting watching you guys go between them and trying to pick apart to see and try and organize. Okay, that's from this little group of people. This is from, you know what I mean? It's interesting.
What connected to what?
Yeah. Because again, like I said, I'm really proud of this world that I've built because it's so much more detailed than Multisora. It's so much more detailed than Salzia. I'm genuinely proud of this because I have put so much fucking into it. And then hopefully the next campaign, it'll be even better than this one, and we'll just build on it. But yeah.
Are you telling us another campaign after this one?
Well, unless you were planning
in another 4 years, we'll be finally finished this one.
Unless you were planning to flip me the bird and never play again.
No, I don't do that to you.
There you go. But
I have been in every campaign and will probably be in every other. I'm going to be playing in my 60s. Yeah.
but yeah, so that'll be the end of this TTT, because we've now just talked to the end of episode 30, which is the current one. And this will be uploaded on the Wednesday, so if you're seeing this brand new on the Wednesday, say hi. If not, where were you? New episodes are coming out every other Saturday. When's the next session coming up? When's 31? It's the 4th of September. That'll be the next session. And we won't make another TTT until episode 35. So obviously, if you're looking for the next one and we're not there yet, just go watch the VODs of the old ones, man. What are you doing?
Now that you've had this terrible explanation, go and watch it properly and see how bad the fuck up proved.
Go find out what actually happened.
Yeah. Go and watch the proper explanation rather than the bullshit.
What's the word? Freshly squozen orchid juice.
Episode 30 was really wild with the no magic and stuff going on. It was entertaining.
Oh yeah, it was real good, man.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I'll see.
Wasn't the fight sponsored by Orchid?
And on that bombshell,
guys that are watching on YouTube, I will see you next time. God, I'm gonna go deal with Adam. Ta-ra.
Bye.